reference photo of what I think is an adorable little squirrel on a fence. And I'll begin this piece with masking. I'll mask around the edges of the fence post and some of the white areas of the squirrel and around the details like his eye and just the edge. The background of our squirrel is really rather out of focus and abstract, which lets us do kind of whatever we want. I'm going to stay in this color range because I want to highlight the squirrel and the fence. So I picked out some botanical, eggplant, meadow, caramel, teakwood, and honeycomb. And we'll just splash it on. I'm going to add some splattering texture. This is alcohol, and there may be some random ink on the brush, but I don't think it's very much. This is some ginger I'm going to splatter on. I still like a little more variation in color. This is some citrus. I'm putting it on a cotton ball, and I'm just going to dab in and get some more texture and some lighter color. And this is alcohol. So this is the background of our squirrel with the masking fluid on it, and I'm going to go ahead and take the masking fluid off now. I'll begin by coloring in all of the iron fence, and I'll just do a layer of eggplant over all of the area. I'm going to incorporate the green ink where it is, and even though the sun is catching on part of it, I feel confident that I can lift it out. So I'll just put eggplant over all the iron areas. I'm going to work on the squirrel. There are a couple areas that, since I have the eggplant out, probably will be okay using it for part of the darks, and then I'll start adding in some of the browns. This is some ginger. Our squirrel's quite a bit lighter, so we'll be doing some lifting, but put a little layer of it in. And the last color I'm going to add in before I start lifting is a little bit of honeycomb. This is the pointy swab and just alcohol. And I'm just going to lift throughout the piece. I'm going to put his eye in. I'm going to work on the fence. I'm going to start by working with the alcohol and cotton swab to pull out the lighter areas, and then I'll go back in with some darker areas. In fact, I think I'll put some eggplant in the palette to thicken up while I'm working on the lighter areas. Now I'll brush in the darks. This is the thickened eggplant. Now I'll do a little more lifting with the cotton swab. I'd like to lighten the background a little bit, and I'm going to do it by using the regular cotton swab and just pulling out some lighter dots. So echoing some of the pattern that's already here, but just pulling off some more ink. I'd like to splatter some additional color in here, but I don't want to bother the little squirrel, so I'm going to cover over some parts of him with some torn pieces of paper. And this is the wild plum. I'm going to put it where some brass was, and I know there's a little bit of brass still left on my toothbrush. So this is some slate. I'm going to try to gray up our squirrel a little bit. We've got a lot of green showing through, which you may end up just having to live with, but we can try to add a little more gray to it. And now that we have the gray down, we'll do some lifting with alcohol. And add a little pink to the ears. This is the pink sherbet. And the nose. this point I'm going to stipple in some of the fur, and I'll be using a sepia pen, black pen, and the white pen. I'm going to add some pen to the fence as well. And his tail, I kind of forgot about that. And this is the black pen. Okay, I'm going to let him sit overnight and see how much of the white settles in, and then finish him up tomorrow. Well, our little dots of white did not settle in, so he kind of looks like he has like squirrel chicken pox or something. So I'm going to need to go over it with some inks. I brought out some Spectrum Noir inks. So these are some shades of grays and tans. And I'm going to use them. I think they'll be a little bit thicker than my Ranger inks, and they might give us a nice effect for our squirrel. So this is a golden color. This is a brownish gray. I'm going to put a little bit of it on our post. This is a very dark gray. So the nice thing about having multiple brands of ink is some of them may be thicker than others, and if you need either a thin or a thick application of a certain color, you can switch between your inks. This is a thinner blue-gray. We'll see if there's some parts that will work for this color for the squirrel. This is a pale tan. going to lighten up some of this very dark gray. And I'll try some texturing with this pale gray marker. To lighten some of the lighter areas here. And a little bit for his nose. I'm taking a few minutes to lighten some of the white fur, and I'm just really scrubbing off everything that's on this paper. Or trying to get rid of some of that green cast. These are some markers. This one's very pale, so it's kind of acting like just alcohol. I'll try a little bit more with the white pen. But I'm going to blot it as I work. And this is the black pen.